If your last name is on this list, it once ruled kingdoms, started wars, or built empires that reshaped Europe. 10 German names. Stay until number 1. That family ruled longer and over more territory than any dynasty in European history. By the end, you'll know which house or family your name connects to, the wars they fought, the empires they built, and how it all ended. One name belonged to the deadliest flying ace in history. Another still owns castles across Germany today. Let's start with number 10. Number 10. Müller. Simply Miller, the person who ran the village mill. No dynasty, no castle, just the single most common surname in Germany, carried by millions with no shared ancestor at all. Every town in medieval Germany needed a miller, and the name became a working title passed down independently over and over in village after village. It's less a bloodline than a mirror of an entire nation's history. Ordinary families who built Germany from the ground up, while dynasties fought over its throne. If your name is Müller, you don't trace to one family. You trace to every family that ever needed bread. Number 9. Von Richthofen, Prussian nobility from Silesia, most famous for one member, Manfred von Richthofen, the Red Baron. Flying a blood-red triplane over the trenches of the First World War, he shot down 80 confirmed enemy aircraft, more than any other pilot in the war, before he was killed in action in 1918, at just 25. His family had been minor nobility for generations, but his name became the most recognized in aerial combat history, feared by Allied pilots and respected even by his enemies as a knight of the sky. If your name is Richthofen, your bloodline includes the deadliest fighter pilot of the First World War. Number 8. Von Bismarck. Prussian landed nobility for centuries, until one member changed the map of Europe. Otto von Bismarck became Chancellor of Prussia in 1862, and through 3 calculated wars in under a decade, united dozens of independent German states into a single empire in 1871. Known as the Iron Chancellor, he then spent nearly 20 years balancing the great powers of Europe to preserve the peace he'd fought to create. His family still holds estates in Germany today. If your name is Bismarck, your bloodline built the country Germany would become, first through war, and then, deliberately, through peace. Number 7. Von Moltke. A Prussian military dynasty that produced 2 of the most influential strategists in modern warfare. The elder, Helmut von Moltke, modernized the Prussian army and won the wars that made Bismarck's unification possible, using railways and telegraphs to move troops faster than any general before him. Decades later, his grandnephew held the same top command at the outbreak of the First World War. The name became so tied to military planning that German officers studied the Moltke method for generations after. If your name is Moltke, your bloodline rewrote the rules of how wars are fought and won. Number 6. Wettin, one of the oldest ruling dynasties in Europe, tracing back to the 10th century in Saxony. What makes the Wettins remarkable isn't just how long they ruled, but how far they spread. Through strategic marriages, Wettin descendants became kings of Poland, Belgium, Portugal, and Bulgaria, and one branch, renamed Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, became the British royal family. Every British monarch since Queen Victoria's husband Albert has carried Wettin blood. If your name connects to Wettin, you're linked to more European thrones across more countries than almost any other family on this list. Quick pause before we go further. If you're enjoying tracing these names, subscribe now so you don't lose us. The next 5 houses are the ones that actually wore crowns. And a heads up, this is part 1. Part 2 is coming soon, with the dynasties we didn't have room for here. Number 5. Wealth. Rivals of the Hohenstaufens for the German throne, and the family behind one of medieval Europe's most powerful princes, Henry the Lion. As Duke of Saxony and Bavaria in the 12th century, Henry founded the cities of Munich and Lübeck and pushed German settlement eastward, before being stripped of his lands by the emperor for refusing to send troops to Italy. His descendants regrouped in northern Germany, and centuries later, one wealth branch, renamed Hanover, inherited the throne of Great Britain itself. If your name traces to wealth, your bloodline founded major German cities and eventually crossed the Channel to rule England. Number 4. Wittelsbach. Rulers of Bavaria for 738 years, the longest unbroken reign of any dynasty in German history. From 1180 until the monarchy's collapse in 1918, one family held Bavaria through the Reformation, the 30 Years' War, and Napoleon's invasions. Their most famous member, King Ludwig II, spent the family fortune on fairy tale castles, including Neuschwanstein, before drowning under mysterious circumstances weeks after being declared insane. If your name is Wittelsbach, your bloodline held one throne longer than almost any family in European history, and left behind the castle that inspired Disney's own. Number 3. Hohenstaufen. The imperial dynasty of Frederick Barbarossa, Redbeard, who tried to build a unified empire across Germany and Italy in the 12th century, and drowned crossing a river on crusade before he could finish it. His grandson, Frederick II, was so far ahead of his era. Fluent in 6 languages, patron of science, ruler of Sicily and the empire at once, that the Pope excommunicated him twice, and contemporaries called him the wonder of the world. The dynasty ended in 1268, when its last male heir was publicly executed at just 16 years old. If your name connects to Hohenstaufen, your bloodline produced 2 of the most extraordinary rulers of the medieval world, and lost everything in a single generation. Number 2. Hohenzollern. From minor burgraves of Nuremberg to rulers of Prussia, and finally, emperors of a unified Germany. Over 6 centuries, the family expanded methodically, through marriage, purchase, and war, until Wilhelm I was crowned German Emperor in 1871. His grandson, Wilhelm II, led the empire into the First World War, and on losing it, was forced to abdicate in 1918, ending the dynasty's rule after 857 years. If your name is Hohenzollern, your bloodline built modern Germany from a single Bavarian Swabian castle, and lost it all in a single war. And now, number 1. This is the family that ruled longer over more territory than any other dynasty in European history. Starting from a small castle in Switzerland in the 11th century, the Habsburgs expanded through one of the most successful marriage strategies ever executed. Their own motto translated as, "Let others wage war. You, happy Austria, marry." By the 16th century, under Charles V, the family ruled Spain, Austria, the Netherlands, parts of Italy, and colonies across the Americas. An empire on which, famously, the sun never set. The Austrian branch held the imperial throne for nearly 4 centuries, through the 30 Years' War, the Napoleonic Wars, and the rise and fall of Austria-Hungary, before the assassination of one heir, Franz Ferdinand, triggered the First World War that finally ended it in 1918. If your name is Habsburg, your bloodline ruled a European empire longer than any family in history, and its final undoing came from a single gunshot in Sarajevo. 10 German names, 10 different roads to power, through war, marriage, invention, and sheer stubborn survival. Some of these families still exist today, quietly, without crowns. Drop your surname below and tell me if it connects to any house on this list. And remember, this was only part 1. Subscribe now so you don't miss part 2 coming soon with the German names we didn't have room for here. See you in the next one.